Welcome to the Energy Upgrade podcast. Hey, I'm Vanessa, and I'm obsessed with all things health, energy, entrepreneurship, motherhood, and living my best life. I'm here to give you actionable steps in reclaiming your energy and reconnecting with your power. I'm a certified integrated health practitioner and kinesiologist. I spent the past decade with a focus on skin health and age prevention while co-founding a network of medical aesthetic clinics on the west coast of Canada. After healing myself from burnout, mold, heavy metal, and all the things, I'm back to my passion for health optimization, and I'm lucky enough to coach high-achieving women just like you in finding their energy and life force back. Transforming their life so they can step into the highest version of themselves has energized me and inspired me to bring to life this podcast. Here, I'll talk about detox, lifestyle, mindset, supplements, breathwork, parasites, and everything in between. I know you're so busy, so I keep it under 30 minutes. Thank you for being here. Cozy up and let's get started.
Your time is now. Your energy is your life force. You want to be able to magnetize your wildest dreams. A liver detox is the fastest way to start healing. You can and you will.
Hello, and welcome back to another weekly episode of the Energy Upgrade. This is Vanessa, your host. Today, I want to talk about sleep. I want to talk about sleep, but in particular, where you sleep. So your bedroom. I wanted to talk about this and share with you today 3 unsuspected ways that you can actually improve your sleep by looking at your environment. So where you sleep. And why I thought of bringing this up is because it's actually a conversation I'm having with lots of clients that actually never realized or never thought of the 3 things I'm about to mention. And so I thought, okay, these are very inexpensive, super easy to implement things that will actually really move the needle on the quality of your sleep. So if you're listening and you find yourself maybe tossing and turning at night, perhaps you have a hard time not falling asleep necessarily, but staying asleep. Maybe when you wake up in the morning, you still feel tired. Well, then you owe it to yourself to look into these 3 things. And before I even share those 3 ways you can improve your sleep, I want to remind you also to go back to episode 17, where I talked about the importance of breathing through your nose. So if you think that you might be a mouth breather, well, guess what? That's also going to impact the quality of your sleep, especially if you're one of those people that's waking up in the morning still tired. It could be a sign that you are a mouth breather because your body hasn't fully recovered, because that breathing is less efficient. So make sure to look into this if you haven't already. And then, of course, today I could have talked about the supplements you can take to improve your sleep. I could have talked about the impact of alcohol on your sleep. I could have talked of how to read your sleep data and how that is important. I could have talked about your sleeping rituals. I could have talked about how to wind down your brain at night, essential oils and how to use them. But instead, I decided to really focus, like I said, on your environment for today. So your bedroom. Okay. So the first thing I want you to start thinking about is lights and sounds in your bedroom. So I want you tonight, I want you to wear your little detective hat. And as you walk into your bedroom, I want you to start noticing any areas where there's a light that comes off. And it could be as silly, and this is going to blow your mind, but it could be as silly as, that red dot. If you have a TV in your room, that red dot actually is enough to deactivate melatonin at night. Melatonin is your sleep hormone. You need it strong. You need it to function properly. But if you have any source of light coming through your eyes, even if your eyes are shut and your lids are closed, your brain is still going to pick up that signal. And that's going to tell the brain that maybe it's not nighttime and the melatonin is going to be not produced as efficiently. So it really matters. So tonight, pay attention. Do you have blackout blinds in your windows? Did you know that even the post light from across the street, even that is enough, that the light coming through your bedroom, that is enough to deactivate melatonin. So do you see how like it's so insane how our environment can have a different impact on our sleep? So I want you to start paying attention to that. I want you to look, do you have an alarm clock? Do you have bright blue numbers on it? Because if you do, then absolutely that has got to go. And my favorite alarm clock, by the way, is just the old school one with a battery. It's probably like $4 at any pharmacy. And a battery operated one is great because there's no EMF emitted that's going to impact or keep your brain activated. And there's no bright numbers that also are going to blunt the melatonin production. So take a peek into your bedroom, look at the light. Now, sounds, of course, depends heavily on where you live. So, of course, if you live downtown, you're going to be hearing sirens and all kinds of stuff in construction early in the morning, and that will be disrupting your sleep. So if that's your case, then obviously I like to just buy the most basic foam earplugs. And one trick I do is most of them, I always find them too big and they end up slipping off through the night. So I just cut with scissors. I literally will cut about half of it or maybe like a third of it off. And then I just use that. And also for moms out there, I want to reassure you, trust me, if your kid needs you, you're going to hear it. Even with earplugs, trust me on that one. My kids often still will wake me up at night and I wear earplugs, even though I live like in nature and there's not much sounds around. I still want to have the deepest sleep and the highest quality of sleep I can get. And that comes from the light and the sounds that you hear, because that will keep your brain activated. So invest in good old cheap earplugs. I buy the big tubs probably for like $12, and that lasts me for months. And I try to change them every week or every other week whenever I think of it. But obviously change them regularly because they can get pretty gross. Don't get bought into all these fancy earplugs. Like I know even Bose now has like earplugs. Like, no, we don't. We actually don't want any EMF coming in through your ears. So just good old foam ones will do the trick. Okay, so that's number one, making sure that you have the light and the sounds in your bedroom in check. If you're the kind of person that has gotten used to sleeping with white noise, that can be okay. But the only problem I have is like, where's that white noise coming from? Is it from the phone that is on your nighttime table? Is it coming from a radio player? Like, where is this coming from? Because that brings me to my second point, which is radiations, EMF. I've talked about this many times before, but EMF are definitely, basically think of it as radiations. They come from any electronic device, any of them, Wi-Fi or not, Bluetooth or not, any of them will emit some EMF. It comes from, of course, the 5G towers nearby. It comes from your Wi-Fi router. So what's super important for your bedroom is, number one, like this is like, as of tonight, you cannot be sleeping with your phone next to your head. Like I know most people will keep their phone, they use it as an alarm clock and they keep that on their nightstand table by their head. That has to stop. Why? Because those radiations are keeping your brain activated. It's so hard for the brain to understand that now it's sleep time. It's time to go into a deep rest. It's time to heal and rejuvenate. If it keeps being bombarded, the brain is trying its best, but we have to help it. Okay, so no more phone by your head. Now, I understand some people argue with me, like, I really need it. It's my alarm clock. Or if there's an emergency phone call, I want to be able to hear it. Fine. I want you to plug it as far away from your head as possible. So literally opposite wall, like corner, diagonal away from your head, please. Okay, if it has to stay in your bedroom. Otherwise, another trick that is even better because it will tick more than one box, and I love that, is charge your phone in a completely different room. So for example, me, I charge my phone in the kitchen. So at night, when I go upstairs into my bedroom to start my sleep ritual, so that my brain understands that now it's going to be sleep time, I charge my phone in the kitchen. I leave it there. I put it on airplane mode, and then I go upstairs because I don't need it. I don't need it at night. I don't use that as an alarm clock. So think about what kind of radiations do you have near your head. If you have a radio, like an alarm clock, again, can you plug that away from your head, opposite wall of the bedroom, ideally? And you know what? Bonus, if you need to snooze, it's going to get you to actually get out of bed, which, might as well then just get up and stop snoozing if you're already up. So EMF, and then another trick is, this is for any of the biohackers out there, those of you who want to take it to the next level. Of course, you know that that's what I do, but putting a timer on your Wi-Fi router at night. So for us, our Wi-Fi completely shuts down after 11 p.m. and it doesn't reopen until 6 a.m. because we know that we're not going to need the internet at that time. Okay, so that is so easy. It's like just a very basic timer, the ones that you can put on your outdoor lights. It's the same thing. You're just going to hook that to your router and it's going to automatically shut down and reopen. And what that does, especially if you have kids in the house, it really helps to eliminate radiations. And kids are particularly sensitive to this. So actually, whatever you're doing in your bedroom, make sure you look into your kids as well. So if there's any electronics near their heads, that's got to go. If there's any light, I know that some kids need their night lights to go to sleep, but hey, sneak back in 20 minutes later, turn it off, because that is impacting their own melatonin production. That will be impacting their circadian rhythm. And if they keep waking up in the middle of the night, well, maybe it's just because of that. Maybe it's just because their melatonin production didn't get to happen fully and stay high through the night. So look into your EMF, any electronic device, any type of radiation that may be close to your head. That is the most important thing, because that's going to have an impact on the quality of your sleep. And if you're tracking your sleep, and if you get access to sleep data, maybe you have an Apple Watch or an Oura Ring, well, do it and test it and look at your heart rate variability. Look at your deep sleep. Look at your scores. Look at the difference when you unplug the Wi-Fi, when you don't plug your phone next to your head. It has a huge impact. Okay. Now, the last point, the third unsuspected way to improve your sleep through your bedroom is actually to consider the kind of air you're breathing. And this may sound like obvious, but remember, in your bedroom, when you're sleeping, your body's goal is to heal, repair, rejuvenate. It's the only time it's supposed to do that. Like this is the body's full-time job at night. Yet if the air is contaminated in some way or another, maybe you have mold in one corner, maybe you have mold in the adjacent bathroom, maybe you have maybe you're near a golf course or a cornfield and they've been spraying, or an apple tree field or an orchard or a vineyard, which we used to have. So if you're keeping your windows open, which usually is good, now the problem is you're breathing all that stuff at night. What happens on your body is your body cannot fully dedicate to healing and repairing because it has to deal with the task at hand, which is to get rid of those toxins, make sure they're not getting into your body. Okay, so one of the best way to improve the sleep, the quality of your sleep, is to make sure you're breathing clean air. There's two ways I like to make sure I do that. The first one is more of an investment. So investing into an air purifier. Myself, this is something that I've decided to invest in for all bedrooms in our family. This is non-negotiable for me. This is a priority for me. It might not be for you, but I'm just sharing what I'm doing for me. So everybody has an air doctor air purifier into their bedroom. So the air doctor, I absolutely love it. You can just buy the smallest one for bedrooms. It's silent. It doesn't have any lights at night. I just love it. It's easy to clean. It's easy to buy replacement filters. It's very smooth. And I actually just noticed now in Canada that it's available through Amazon, which is great because you don't have to pay duties and the currency exchange, all that stuff. So Air Doctor, I'm going to link that in the show notes as well. Now, if you are suspecting mold, and in that particular case, then I invite you to look into another air purifier called Molecule with a K, Molecule. So Molecule is the only air purifier that I know anyway that will destroy the mold. Most other air purifier will just trap it in their filters. And of course, if you're behind schedule on changing your filters, which happens when you're busy, then it's recirculating and we don't want that. So if you're suspecting mold, and when we had our mold episode about 3 years ago, we invested into this Molecule air purifier. It's a little bit more stylish. It's beautiful. Again, very silent. We've had it for 3 years. It's amazing. It's a bit more expensive, more of an investment, but it does what it's supposed to do. So, and you really notice the difference in the air. Like you won't notice it until you try it. It's like when you've been drinking tap water all your life and suddenly you start drinking purified water, the difference, and you're like, oh wow, this water actually tastes really good. I never knew. Same thing with the air. Once it's purified, it just feels like it's filling your lungs. It's so much more satisfying. Now, if budget is a concern, and if you, at this time in your life, if you can't invest into air purifiers, I totally get it. An alternative is much more affordable, and it's indoor plants. Yes. So indoor plants, and my favorite ones that are the best at capturing air toxins, air pollutants, are snake plants, spider plants, lilies. And if you notice, like those are so inexpensive. Like you can literally buy them at Home Depot for like $9. So make sure you have one of these in each of the bedrooms in your home. Make sure there's maybe even another one on your nightstand table. I think that's a very, very clever investment, even if you have an air purifier or not. That's going to make a nice difference. So indoor plants are just wonderful. They absorb toxins. It's such a gift from Mother Nature, and we need to utilize it more into our homes, because remember, our home indoor air is believed to be 100 times more contaminated than outdoor air. So it's really, really important that we pay attention to that. Okay, so I hope that these 3 ways were helpful. I hope you had some aha moments. If you did, let me know. Like, feel free to find me on Instagram. Let me know if that was helpful. Even better, tag me in your bedroom as you're making those changes. Show me those beautiful plants that you're going to be adding to your bedroom, and show me your sleep mask and your earplugs. I want to see. That always lifts me up to know that you're actually utilizing those tips, implementing them in your real life, because that's why I'm here, and that's why I share all of this amazing knowledge. And again, none of what I've mentioned today is complicated. Really, it's really just about knowledge. Knowledge is power. So utilize it, use it. I want to see you tonight, and we're not charging our phone next to our head anymore. We're putting it on airplane mode. Oh, and I forgot to say, but if your phone is on airplane mode, the alarm will still ring, just so you know. And you can do the test if you don't trust me, but it still will wake you up. So you don't have to worry about that. So airplane mode, It's maybe plugged across the bedroom, across the bed, and you'll notice a big improvement on your sleep. So I hope this was helpful. If you know of a friend or someone maybe in your family struggling with their sleep, well, send them this. It's not going to cost anything, and it might really help solve a problem that they didn't suspect. So again, if you enjoyed this episode, feel free to go and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It always fuels me to read you. I absolutely love it. And I cannot wait to see you again here for another episode of the Energy Upgrade next week. Okay, bye for now. Are you ready to be a summer queen? I came up with that name for my next free event at the end of the month of May, because that's how I want to feel this summer. I want to feel comfortable in my own skin, liberated, present, alive, in my feminine power, able to receive and flow. I want to feel like less is more, making space for more spontaneous activities around the things that truly bring me joy. And let me tell you, that summer queen is already in us. It's just she is stuck in layers that are not serving her anymore. And so if you feel called to dissolving these layers, to reconnect, remember about that summer queen in you. I've put together 3 powerful masterclasses that are going to happen from May 29th to the 31st. And the goal for me is to set the tone for those feelings, give you tips to detoxify, simplify your lifestyle, and start attracting, magnetizing, manifesting opportunities that are beyond what you can even think about now. Oh, and did I say it's completely free to join? The link is in the show notes, and we start on May 29th. I hope to see you there. The information shared on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't provide any medical advice. Vanessa Grutman does not cure, diagnose, or treat disease. Please consult your physician before trying any new protocol or product.